Hi guys, welcome to my channel. If you don't know who I am, my name's Cameron. I'm a firefighter currently in the UK. You've probably already seen my TikTok if you're watching this. That's where I post all my little behind the scenes and whatnot. So yeah, really in this video, the main point is just to talk about my experience and how I became a firefighter. My voice is going dry already, I do apologise. Right, let's get into it. So first, I just want to start off and talk about what I'd done previous to join the fire service. So before I joined, I was actually a painter and decorator, self-employed. We used to go around into commercial buildings and kind of decorate the hallway, landing and stairs. Before that, I was actually working for Nando's in a town near where I live. And before that, I believe I was in Burger King. So yeah, that's just a bit of information about me and previous to joining the fire service, what I was doing. So a question I do get asked is why I decided to join the fire service. Why go for the firefighter role, I guess. Was it a dream I had when I was younger? To be honest, it wasn't. I just remember sitting down in my room and thinking kind of what job would I be interested in? What qualities do I have? What are my interests that could then make me enjoy the job that I could pursue to get? And I had friends in the police, and I thought I didn't want to be a police officer, and then I thought, how about a firefighter? And to be fair, I didn't know anybody in the job before I joined. Didn't know anyone that had been in there. I was just going off like a blank slate. I didn't really know what to expect. I found there wasn't really a lot of information online kind of about the fire service, which made me a bit more interested. I wanted to find out more. I knew that I was into my fitness. I knew that I didn't want to be stuck behind a desk all day. In an office. I definitely didn't want to do a 9 to 5. That's just something that would drain me, I think. So yeah, I thought firefighter, it seems like a practical role, something that I would be interested in. So yeah, that's just a bit of information about me, why I joined the fire service, why I applied originally and ended up joining, my thought process behind it, what I'd done before the job. It is good to keep in mind as well, guys, it actually took me 3 attempts to get into the fire service. My first attempt I failed throughout the recruitment stage, and then the second attempt I also failed. It took me probably 18 months in total from when I first ever applied to then getting on the 8-week program after you go through the selection process. So yeah, it's definitely not an easy or definitely not a fast process if you're looking to get into it. I also believe that it's about 12 months before you can reapply. So if you apply and fail, I think that it's now 12 months where you can reapply. When I applied, it was 6 months. However, I think that has now changed to 12 months, which makes it even harder to get into. However, everyone's different. I spoke to people that had applied, it was their first time, they got in within 3 months. And then I also spoke to people that have been applying for the last 3 or 4 years and only just got in. So yeah, it does vary on each individual. However, it is worthy to keep in mind that it's not an easy process and it's definitely not a quick process. However, I do think that one of the main reasons it took quite long when I applied was because it was during COVID, you see, so things were all, as you already know, everything was delayed. And the thing is, with the fire service, when they email you back, they don't really give you an estimated date of when you will have the next section or the next part of the recruitment process. It's always, we'll be in touch shortly, or they don't really give you time frames as such, so you're always you don't really know where you stand, I suppose. Okay, so let's talk about then when you first apply, when you first send the application process off, and then what you get in return. So after that, you should get an email. And then for me personally, remember guys, this is all from my personal experience. It might have changed. It might be different in your brigade. I don't actually know. But for me, they then send you like a kind of behavioural style questionnaire where you kind of will give you a scenario of different behaviours, and then you've got to almost tick a box as to how you'd respond, or whether you agree, disagree, strongly agree, or strongly disagree. So you'll get them kind of questions. Shortly after that, you'll get kind of like numerical questions, mechanical questions, which I personally found the hardest. Also like English written questions. I think I did fail on the mechanical test on my second or first attempt to get in. This is definitely the bit that I found the hardest. Remember guys, as I go through this, I've actually got a template here down here now that I'm looking on my screen from kind of the start to finish. As I said, mine was slightly different, but I'll work through this one because this is the one on the website. So even though it might be in different orders, it's still the same kind of stuff that I had to do to get in. Next stage is the equality and diversity essay that you'll have to write. I believe mine one was about, so equality and diversity is one of the PQAs, one of the personal qualities and attributes of a firefighter. You also, in the questionnaire, in the essay, you have to respond. I'll give you a question, you've got to respond to it. My advice would be just to always refer back to the question in your answer. I think it's a 500 limit word essay, so make sure you use all the words you can. So yeah, that's my little bit of advice for that bit. After that, we've got a behavioural interview. This, because mine was in COVID, it was a bit different, so it was online. I remember being in a Zoom call with other people in the same process as me, at the same stage, and they were kind of putting in scenarios on the screen, and we'd kind of have to unmute our mics and speak on what we thought was a danger. I think that was mainly just to see like how we worked as a group. I'm not actually sure, but that's the kind of vibe I got off it anyway. The next stage, you're looking at your practical assessment. This involves various different things. So ours was at a fire station, we went there for the day. So you'll do some kind of hose running, you'll have to wear your BA set, blindfolded, and then they'll put you through like a cage where you're working in a confined space, which was quite tough, especially because I'm 6'2" and weigh about 90 kg. And the cage is probably just about fit in the cage. Fun story, I actually broke the cage because I was kicking off the cage doors, and it actually broke. Just because you're blindfolded and it's like you lose all your senses, but that's what they want to see. They want to see how you work in that kind of environment, I guess. Also, one thing I forgot to mention is they spin you around, I think 10 times before you go in there, so you literally don't have a clue where you are. And you come out of it and you look at the cage and you think, Jesus, like I thought I was. You think it's a lot different to how it was in your head, but no, it's good fun. On this day also, you do like a ladder drill where they'll pitch a 13.5 meter ladder up, and you'll have to climb up before perform a leg lock at the top, is where you lock your leg in between the rounds of the ladder, let go of the ladder, lean back just to show that your leg lock's performed safe, because the purpose of the leg lock is to free up your hands, I suppose, and to make you safe on the ladder. Other little things they do is you have to kind of pick up a weight almost with your two hands, so you grip and then kind of hold the weight there. From what I remember, it wasn't that heavy for me personally, but I think everyone got through that quite easy. And then you had to, from what I can remember again, you had to kind of put together some kind of components with like fire gloves on, which was interesting, to be fair. But no, everyone there is proper helpful, proper friendly, and they all want you to get through. Really, they're not really trying to catch you out on anything at this point. They just want you to get through and to make sure that you're safe. Really. One thing that I did forget to mention was the casualty carry on the fitness test. So you'll have a dummy casualty. You'll kind of pick him up from underneath his armpits, and you'll drag him back, and you'll kind of like go back, but the instructor will have his hand on your shoulder to guide you when you're going backwards. Just to kind of show, I think the casualties vary in weight, but they're definitely not light. You feel it on your calves after. Well, I did anyway. So stage 5, it's coming up on here that it's the employment checks. So these are things like your DBS check, kind of your background checks, any references that you have from previous jobs that might ask you for a reference. I know I had to give out a reference. Then you have your medical tests, go and see a doctor at the occupational health at the headquarters. And then also a date will be arranged then at this point for you to get your kit measured up to make sure, because we've all got our own kit, you see, so, and it's all different sizes obviously, so you have to go and get your kit measured up specifically for you. Just some things that I remember from the medical that it includes is like your height, your weight, any kind of previous medication that you've been on, any injuries if you're suffering any at the moment, they'll ask you stuff like that. An eye test, a hearing test as well. They'll test for your blood pressure, and they'll also do a urine test. So one thing I did forget to mention when I was recording this video, guys, was the interview stage, probably the most important stage. As I said, mine was during COVID, so we didn't have a face-to-face interview. It was on Teams or Zoom or something like that. So what happened was you were sat obviously in a panel, and I think there was 2 senior officers at the time interviewing you. So yeah, the kind of things that were in this interview, like I had to talk about the plan of the service, kind of their strategy and how they kind of almost want to be future proof. And I know another thing they asked me to look at was who the chief was, kind of what his name was, who the
deputy chief was, and then just something, what else did they, yeah, they mentioned like how many fire stations and fire engines are there in the brigade that I was applying for. So yeah, mainly just things that they wanted you to kind of look into, so they could see that you actively engaging to try and at least make an effort into the job role. Basically just showing interviewers kind of that you've done your research and that you are serious about the job because you've gone away and you've done your own bit.
So yeah, that was a very quick run through of the kind of recruitment process. I know I went through it quite quick. I will make another video in this in more detail, but this video is mainly about my journey and how my experiences can help you, tell you what to look out for and stuff. If you do want a more detailed recruitment process, I can also make a video on that, so let me know in the comments. So now I guess you're wondering, if you're successful on all these different stages, what next? What is the next stage? And the next stage will be your 8-week course. Now for me, this was based at a station. We went there Monday to Friday, roughly 8 till 5 or 6 on the evening, depending. Sometimes we'd stay there longer because we'd have more training to do, or if you wanted to go over another topic, the instructors will obviously help you and to help you through it and stuff. They'll help you do that. So the 8-week course is structured in individually for different topics. So things such as RTC, BA, hazmats, FREC, which is your first aid, working at height. You'll have a day doing some water rescue training, which is good. You'll have 1 or 2 weeks. It was 2 weeks for me, but I believe it might even still be 2 weeks, where you'll do hose pump and ladders. So that will be kind of combi drills and just getting you used to really like the equipment and the kit that we use. Personally, for me, I found the 8 weeks quite intense. Not in terms of difficulty, but more like the pace of it really. I was finding I was waking up at 6, 7 in the morning, because you obviously definitely don't want to be late. Waking up, it was taking me about half an hour, 40 minutes, so I'd leave a good hour before we had to be there. Have some breakfast when I got there, and then you're not leaving till 5, 6 o'clock on the night, and then with traffic to get home for me, probably looking at just under an hour. And then by the time you get home, you're then expected to revise on what you've learnt in the day. You feel like you need to revise anyway, because there is obviously a lot to learn. And then once you've done that, you've ate your dinner, you've had a shower. Before you know it, it's time to go to sleep and get ready, so you get enough sleep for the next day really. So yeah, after your 8 weeks, if all goes well and you are successful and you pass all the assessments, you will then be posted to a station. Now your station will, I think they say they try and get you to the closest station to your address. However, it's not obviously always possible, because certain spots at different stations there's more spots at certain stations, so you can't just go to your closest one because there might not be a spot for you there. I believe there was someone on my course who got sent to a station which was around 40 minutes away, which was not good in my opinion. I'd rather obviously a much closer one. I got very lucky. My station's probably less than 10 minutes away from where I live, so I was very fortunate in that aspect. However, once you get on station, there is obviously options to transfer. I know a lot of people on my course personally put a transfer in, and just kind of, you're on the transfer list and you just wait until the station you've chose, which might be the one close to your house, has a free vacant spot, and then you can just kind of transfer over, which is a good thing. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video on how I became a firefighter. I hope it gave you some motivation, some kind of insight to what I went through personally. As I say, all this is just my experience. Things could have changed. Things may have definitely changed. Actually, it's been probably 2 years now since I was starting my journey. So yeah, just a last bit of advice really. Just if it's something you've thought about for a while and something that you see yourself doing and something that you don't want to give up on, then sorry, that was my phone. But yeah, definitely don't give up on it. Don't be disheartened if you don't get in first time. If you have to wait 12 months, you have to wait 12 months. I always say, if it's something that you really want, you won't give up on it. But yeah, I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching. If you have, make sure you like and subscribe, and just put in the comments how you found the video. Any feedback for me, which would be good. Also, make sure you follow my Instagram, which is Cameron McCleary, my TikTok, which is also Cameron McCleary. And yeah, have a good day. Cheers guys.